Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. I hope everyone on this video is doing well. I hope you've all had an amazing week. It is the 17th of January, already past midway through Jan, which is crazy to think about. Time goes quick, as a lot of you guys are probably probably thinking the exact same. But yeah, man, let's get straight into this daily market outlook. We have just recently had red folder news, which was housing starts and also building permits, which caused a little bit of bullishness on the dollar. Nothing too major. Obviously, yesterday we did have CPI, which, let's be honest, it wasn't major, was it? I know obviously the markets moved, but it wasn't clear on any direction of, for me anyway, any direction of where this basically wants to go. So we're still kind of in that no man's land and still waiting for a break. But let's start off with let's start off with the dollar. So if you look at the dollar, you'll be able to see that we're still in this, 1 hour daily range. Sorry, we're still in this daily range of this low to this higher high, and obviously we've had this pullback, and now we are looking to potentially carry this trade on upwards. First thing I want to do is, if I look at the Fibonacci tool, can I see that we've retraced 50%? Yeah, so I can see that we've retraced 50% of a pullback into the discounted area. So I'm expecting now potentially the market to move up, but in order for that to happen, we need to have the 4 hour and the 1 hour in the same flow and same time alignment as the daily time frame, of course. So that is first thing that we're looking is we are in this daily demand, but we also do have a 4 hour demand area below, which I can show you guys now. I think I talked about it yesterday. So there's obviously still room for the market to retrace downwards because yes, we're reacting at this daily demand, but we do also have, a 4 hour demand there. We have a 4 hour demand, pretty much here as well, which we can obviously tap into, of course. And this is why you've got to play what you guys see on the lower time frames because if we look at this as a daily bullishness, so this is our daily higher low, daily higher high. But if you look at this, we've got the 4 hour and 1 hour trending downwards. So of course it's like, oh, we should be buying because the daily time frame is going to, carry on upwards. But you can't say that if we're not getting the exact same scenario on the lower time frames. Now, if I just remove everything, you'll be able to notice that it is part right now and is very choppy. So a lot of you guys, I want you to, look at this and go, if you're making mistakes, if you're, having a few losses at the start of this new year, understand that sometimes, it's out of your control. This is very choppy right now. And obviously it's not really been as clear for a lot of people on the charts. I've had a few messages from people saying that as well. But yeah, as we can see, if we just follow the trend currently, so let's just follow the actual 4 hour trend. So you'll be able to see we obviously had this upwards trend here was creating higher highs, higher lows, and then we had a change of trend. We broke the trend here, and then we started to then descend downwards. And we've now been stuck inside this range. So from our 4 hour lower high to our 4 hour lower low. So we're still stuck in between this range. So hopefully you guys can see this. So in order for us to be in alignment with a daily time frame, we would obviously need to see a break above that 4 hour. Once we see a break, we've got the 4 hour daily bullish and then a 4 hour bullish. So that will give us more insight, and then we can look to carry this trend on upwards. Now, for now, let's have a look at the 4 hour time frame. I cannot speak this morning. I honestly cannot speak. So first thing I want to talk about is, of course, we have this 4 hour supply, this pullback, and then obviously the move down. This is where we've been reacting from. We come back up and then we start to react and then we come back up again. And then we finished off with this candle showing a lot of less volume. We tapped in, took out the liquidity, and then we finished, here. And then we had a big movement down. And if we go to the 1 hour time frame, you'll be able to see that that's a 1 hour, for me, break of structure. So if we drop down to the one, it's a 1 hour break structure because we're still in this 4 hour supply. We've come up, taken the liquidity, and then we had a big 1 hour break there. Realistically, that's a 15-minute break here. Let me just get this on. So we've had a 15-minute and also a 1 hour break. So that for me could tell me a lot. So if we look at this right now, we are now reacting from this 1 hour supply. This 1 hour supply is here, and we also had imbalance that was left as well. So we've slowly come up to basically into this supply area, and we are reacting from here. But also understand at the same time, it is in a 1 hour demand area as well. Now, of course, I'm going to follow what the 4 hours doing, truthfully. So the 4 hours still doing this, and we just had a 1 hour break. And now we can see that we've got a clear 1 hour lower high and lower low. I would rather follow them two structures than focus on the daily time frame, unless we get the break above. And then obviously that will be, like I said, where we can carry this trend on upwards. So looking at this right now, we've got the 1 hour supply. If we just drop down at lower time frames and see what we can see. So as you guys can currently see right now, we are obviously, we've been creating them higher highs and higher lows on a 15 minute. And now we're just still, even though this is, width's low, this is not a 15 minute break. So we look at this right now. Let me just get this out. This is still the 15 minute low. That looks more like a liquidity sweep. So 15 minute higher low, 15 minute higher high. I want to see a body candle. Like I want to see if we can get, body candles finished below this area. If we can get body candles finished below, then obviously it will be more of a clear 15 minute change of trend, of course. So that is first thing that I want to see happen. So as you guys can already get a gist of, I won't be trading anything in here because the 15 minute is still bullish. So I will be wanting to see if we can get like, the break and then look to obviously for the dollar to target the 1 hour lower low here. So that is my first predominant thoughts, which leads us to GU. So GBP let's see what's going on. Let's go to the daily time frame. So same as usual, kind of been messy. If you look at these, like it's so indecisive, which I want you guys to look at and think, fucking hell, like that is indecisive. Like maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just inexperienced, or if you're making a lot of mistakes. So as you can see, currently we have our clear 4 hour lower high and 4 hour and daily lower low, and we're still in this 4 hour range right now. We're reacting out this 4 hour supply, and we're now getting quite a bit of that bearish movement here, it seems, from the daily time frame. But let's obviously drop down the lower, because if we look at this right now, you probably can't decide if we're going to be bearish, if we're going to be bullish. So let's see. Daily is bearish. 4 hour, what can we see? Well, what we can see on the 4 hour is the fact that we obviously have reacted from this supply area. And this obviously doesn't correlate with the dollar, which is obviously confusing for a lot of people because everything right now just seems up in the air, where GU and the dollar, are both in 4 hour downwards trends for me personally. So it is a bit of a tricky one. Now, if we look at this currently, we can obviously see that if you look at this, we can obviously see that there's still, the uptrend that is going on right now. So let's drop down to the 2 and see if we can see anything at all. So if we look at the 1 hour, nothing is really clear. Nothing is really clear. And this is where it can get a bit confusing. What I obviously noticed first thing is we have a lot of wicks here. A lot of wicks is a lot of what? Money. So that is first thing that I obviously noticed. And a lot of the time we want to obviously punch down to then carry on upwards. But there's nothing clear on the 4 hour or 1 hour to be buying this upwards, just to be truthful with you. Yes, we've taken out this low here, but this isn't really something I'd be interested in. If we look at where we're currently at, even though it's an ugly, ugly ass candle, we can obviously refine it to where the imbalance was. We're reacting out of obviously this area here, and we have had, a break almost above. So with GU, and I don't want to get it confusing for a lot of people, bearishness is still in control. So bearishness is still in control. If we go back to the dollar, bearishness is still in control, even though the daily time frame is overall bullish. So for GU, if nothing is clear, then I won't trade it. I won't trade it at all. Obviously, one thing that people can see and probably will be seeing is, but Liam, we've took out equal highs here, and then we've, kind of had that momentum down and broke structure below here, which, by the way, I can see as well. and we've had a 1 hour break here, even though it's not really more of a break. So obviously, if we look at the 2 hour or the 4 hour, then of course, we could react from this 4 hour supply area. But again, I'm just going to be real with you guys. I don't like the look of GU. I don't like the look of GU, so I won't even be like, I'm just analyzing it now for you guys, and I'm just talking for the sake of talking because it is unclear on what this wants to do. And if we want to see what if we think the dollar can still carry on downwards unless we get a break, why we're looking at selling GU. So yeah, that's pretty much it that I've got for GU. Let's focus on, if you're unsure, step away, but also focus on the higher time frames. If you focus on the higher time frames, first thing I can obviously see is we've not reached back to that 50%. We've not reached back to that 50%, so we still want to see that bullishness. We've still got imbalance here, and obviously, we've got this level of demand in the premium area that we would like to see the market come into, of course. So let's see what the week brings next week. But GU is as ugly as anything. Okay, EU. So we look at EU. You'll be EU. Yeah, that is right. You'll be able to see that. First thing I want to always check is with the daily time frame, have we met above the 50%? Yes, we have. So we met above the 50%, as you guys can see, which is of course always a good sign. And we are in this range right now where we've got this, lower high and obviously this lower low as well. So we expect the dollar, we expect EU to obviously, naturally we want to see the EU carry on downwards to create a new lower low. So let's see what we can see on the lower time frames. Now looking at the four, and this is where it could get a bit trickier. And for me, it is a bit tricky because if you look at this, we're reacting at this 4 hour supply candle quite clearly. As you guys can see, we tapped up and come down. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand is, for me, the bullishness on the 4 hour is still there. So if I look at this currently, this is my 4 hour higher low, and this is my 4 hour higher high. And this is why I don't like the look of GU. This is my 4 hour higher high, and we have tapped into this 4 hour demand area here. Now, if you guys look at this, let me just drop down to another lower time frame. Can you guys see this? We have room to come up into here. We have room to come up into this, but we've tapped into the 4 hour demand. And now demand is still in control. We've got this area of demand here, which is still in control. 1 hour demand. This area of demand is still in control. So again, I'm looking more for bullishness of EU. If you look at the 30-minute, 15-minute, can we see much? Yeah, look, 15-minute is now in alignment. So it was dropping down and we've had that 15-minute break above. So for me, what I would like to see is, of course, EU carry on upwards right now, unless we get a break below. So as we always say, for right now, if we can carry this trend on upwards and we can get a clear one, I would be looking at continuing to buy, seeing how we react from this area. And then if obviously we get a change of trend, I'll be closing this out and I'll be looking at trying to sell in this area. So that is what my thoughts are. But for right now, I'm looking at carrying this trend on upwards, and obviously breaking this high. Obviously, unless we get a change of trend and then we carry this on downwards, and if we break this 4 hour lower high, we can obviously see the market go and take out, this, what is going on? This weekly, daily, and 4 hour lower low that we do have. So keep that in mind going into Friday, but also understand where we're at in the markets. We have still got imbalance above, so this could be a good position to look for buyers, of course. AUD USD, let's see what she's doing. AUD USD, you'll be able to see that we are in this daily level. So we have this daily lower high, daily lower low, daily break of structure. First thing that I obviously notice is we obviously come into the daily supply. So we come into the daily supply, but not quite into this 4 hour supply that I do have. Now, if we drop down to the time frames, lower time frames, first thing that I can see is we come up into that daily supply, but we're still in this bullish move currently right now. So we still have this 4 hour higher high and 4 hour higher low. So we're still working this bullishness unless we break this higher low. We're in this 4 hour demand currently. If I drop down to the 1 hour, what can I see? When we look at the 1 hour, we're coming to this 1 hour supply and we've started to move away. Now, for me, I'm either going to wait for a break above this or a break below this. Very simple. Because right now, we're getting bearish momentum from this supply and this 1 hour supply here. So this looks for me like 1 hour supply. We didn't go and break above this 4 hour higher high. We're coming to daily supply. We've got this downwards trend that's happening because look how clear that is for you guys. Like it is, it looks like it could just carry on. So yeah, keep that in mind. I'm going to wait for a break above, below or above this to make my decision. It's Friday as well, so let's see. And you should be pretty similar, I think. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily. So yeah, same thing. So you look at NU currently, you'll be able to notice that we've reacted out this daily supply, filled in this imbalance. We've come into the premium, which is above the 50% level, and we've had a reaction from there. Now, if I drop down to the 4 hour, what can we see? That is not the 4 hour. 1 second. I'm not sure marked this up, to be fair. That is not the 1 hour as well. Okay, so if we look at the trend on the 4, we had higher low, higher high. We come down and we've now kind of like ranging. So we've not officially broke it, but we have broke it in the sense of like a 1 hour. So if you look at this, my 4 hour, there it is. If you look at this, my 4 hour leg is here. 4 hour higher low. And we have tapped in below and the 1 hour is bearish. Currently right now, we reacted from this 1 hour supply and we're now currently heading back into and reacting from this 1 hour supply as well. So we drop down to the this 1 hour supply. This is where I would like to potentially see the market move on downwards. So we've got a high here that we could take out. So if we look at this, that could be the liquidity. And then we could tap in to fill in the rest of this imbalance above here. So I maybe would like to see that. If not, wait for a break above this. But 1 hour is bearish. So 1 hour is bearish. We need to prioritize the 1 hour being bearish and making sure that you guys are obviously doing that. But obviously, as we know, we've got to play suit with what the dollar's doing. So if the dollar is doing whatever it's doing, you've just got to play suit with that. You have to make sure if the dollar's bearish, we obviously expect the bullishness from NU, AU, EU, GBP, USD, and so on and so on. So yeah, that is pretty much it. If the dollar carries on downwards and we carry on upwards, we just look to position ourselves on upwards. But the market is moving a bit dodgily at the moment. Looking at USD CAD, let's get rid of this. So looking at USD CAD, we've been trapped in this daily, this daily area for quite a while, to be fair. And if you look at the 4 hour right now, you can see that when we come to do the retracement, we had a pullback and we've created them higher lows, higher highs, and now we've come down, created the 4 hour trend downwards into this 4 hour demand, and now we've broken above and we're just trading on upwards. So for me, my priority is this. Because if we're in a 4 hour downwards trend, so if we're in a 4 hour downwards trend, when this comes into the 4 hour supply, we expect this to carry on downwards to break this low. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. We haven't done that. So bullishness for me is taking control. So with that being said, it's not as clear, of course. If you look at like the 2 hour, the 1 hour, you can see like it's just not really been pulling back at all. It's been more in that 1 hour trend. So if you look at this right now, 15-minute 1 hour trend, we've literally just been ranging on upwards. There's not really been any pullback, and where you can see clear areas of demand, there's not really had that. It's just been lower time frame. So I expect this to carry on upwards. I expect this to carry on upwards. And if you look at the 30-minute potentially, if you look at the 30-minute, you can obviously see that we broke above this high and we're just reacting out of a demand area. We're reacting out of a 15-minute demand. So if the dollar's going to carry on upwards, I expect this to carry on upwards as well. But again, I don't like to trade on the 15-minute demand. I like to be in a, I don't know, I like to see clear higher time frame analysis, because if you look at this, I know it's like it's not very clear, but we are basically just trading in between this range. Now, in between this range means that we are obviously going to be building up, you know, a lot of money. And if we build up a lot of money, eventually the markets are going to want to take that money. So again, it wouldn't surprise me if the dollar stays bearish eventually and we ended up just taking out all of these, and everyone whose stop losses are all below here to take some money back as an institution. So yeah, that is my thoughts for USD CAD. Let's go to USD CHF and see what she is doing. Let's go to the daily. Okay. So with USD CHF, you'll be able to notice that we have a level of demand area. Yes, you can pull it up to this, but what I like to do is just put it at the body, just truthfully, and we have tapped into that. And we can see that we're in this daily higher low and daily higher high. Now, if I drop down to the 4 hour, the 4 hour is bearish and ranging. So if we look firstly, how ugly is this? This whole area here is extremely, extremely ugly. It's not nice to obviously look at and to trade. So we are in this 4 hour range right now. We are in this 4 hour range right now. I don't know why it says higher high. So we're in this 4 hour range right now, which broke above this. So if you look at the trend, you'll be able to see it. Let's just carry on from here. We obviously slowed down. We then come back. We pulled back into this, and now we've tapped into that. So for me, it is broken above this 4 hour high. Yes, we tapped into this 1 hour supply, but I would like to see a 1 hour shift. So let's see if we drop down to the 1 hour. If we can see the 1 hour align with the 4 hour break of structure, because we broke up this supply, and see if we can then capitalize on that. Straight away, no, 1 hour is still in control. 1 hour is still in control, and as you guys can see, pardon me, this level of supply is still in control currently. So we look at this, and we've obviously come back up, and we're now tapped in, as you guys can see, basically into this area. I know it's not really tapped into fully, but we filled in the imbalance. We got this 4 hour, 1 hour supply, sorry. So again, and this is where it's a bit mad, is it looks predominantly to carry on downwards for USD CHF, whereas obviously, you know, this looks like we're just trapped. So I want you guys to just like, from this video, I want you to just know that it's like, if you guys are feeling like, what the fuck is going on? Am I making mistakes? Why am I shit? Why am I this? Why is that? The markets are moving weird. These time of the years, it is moving extremely weird for you guys. So don't just like put all the pressure on you and think it's your fault, or you know, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? It is what it is. But yeah, let's look at USD JPY, because USD CHF we've just gone over. We've got daily. We've got a daily lower high, and then obviously the daily lower low. We've had a daily change of trend, but we have obviously filled in this imbalance pretty much, not all the way. So we look at, let me get rid of that. If we look at the 4 hour, what can we see? Well, if we look at the 4 hour, you can see that we had this 4 hour level, or sorry, this 4 hour lower high, which we come up and then we moved away. And we've had another break of that structure here. So that was my 4 hour. This is my 4 hour here as well. So this now becomes my lower high, and this is now my lower low. That was my lower low. This is now my lower low. So let's drop down to the lower time frames and see what we can see. Can we see anything a bit more clear on the one? Okay. So if you look at this currently, if we're following the trend from the higher time frame, our next supply zone will be here. This will be our next 4 hour and 1 hour supply zone. Now, obviously, if you look at the time frame, the lower time frame right now, we are currently bullish. We are currently bullish. So we are going to need to see a change of trend on this to then look to obviously participate in selling this downwards. Because right now, demand is in control in the lower time frames. We need the lower time frames to be in alignment with the higher time frames. Now, if I just drop down to the 15, it'll be a little bit more clearer. You'll be able to see that we're still broke above this, and we're obviously still in this level from here to here. So we expect to see this, and then eventually we end up expecting to see the downwards movement happen on lower time frame from this supply area. So hopefully you guys can see that as well, pretty clear for USD Japanese yen. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I did obviously talk about Euro CAD yesterday, which let me see if it's still marked up. I sent it into the Telegram, and it was a bit mad. Like we was looking for sells from this area, and I got hit out at break even. So we had this 4 hour supply. Let me just talk you through the analysis. So if you guys are in my Telegram and I sent this trade, this is the reason why. So if we look at the weekly, you'll be able to see that the weekly lower high, weekly lower low. We've tapped into, the extreme part of this premium area and we've moved downwards. There's confirmation. Weekly is bearish. Now the daily, what can we see? Well, the daily was uptrending and then we had a break of structure, change of trend, and the daily has been downwards trending. So our daily lower high was here and our daily lower low was here. Second confirmation, we was, bearish. Then I dropped down to the 4, and the level of supply that we had was this level of supply for 4. So again, obviously my first thoughts is we took liquidity in this 1 hour supply, big movement down, and we had a 4 hour supply met and we had a big move. Now this aligned with me expecting to see the market come up into this area. I think we refined it on the 1, and obviously from 1 second, 4 hour. From this area, we expected to obviously see the market, come downwards. So if I just play this ahead, we come up and we started to move down. Let's forget about this. I got out, where's it gone? So we come into the area. If I drop down to the 1 hour, it might be a bit more cleaner. One sec. There we go. This 1 hour supply. Yeah, and we was obviously moving away from this 1 hour supply. We had obviously good momentum from the lower time frames, but we didn't quite. If you look at this, like the lower time frames, everything was meeting. But yeah, obviously news happened at that time, and then we obviously had the big news candle, which then carried the trend on upwards. But if you look at this, everything was fine. Everything was fine. Everything was in alignment. And because the reason I went break even is just simply because the 15-minute was, for me, bearish. Because we had obviously the upwards trend that was happening, and then we had a break structure here and a break of structure here because this big candle that we had. So that's why I went break even. And obviously, thank God I met my trading plan because Euro CAD ended up carrying on upwards. Now, if we look at this where we're currently at, there were two options I was looking out for yesterday. And the two options was obviously where I sold from. And then obviously it was also to meet into, let me just move this. was to come up into this supply area here and fill in the rest of this imbalance, which we are currently in right now, but we're still in that, we've not had a lower time frame change of trend. And to take out this high as liquidity, take out that high as liquidity. Now, of course, the reason I'm just talking about this is because I sent it into my Telegram group, is we are still bullish. We're still bullish on the lower time frames here. So you can be able to see that we're still in this range. We've just broken above. So in order for us now to obviously participate, we would now need to see a break below this. So maybe potentially next week, if we can get, liquidity sweep and then this, that would be amazing. But of course, right now, the next level of demand for Euro CAD is this area to carry this trade on upwards. So keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it from me today, guys. I appreciate you, as always, jumping onto these videos. I appreciate everyone who subscribed. I know we're over 200 subscribers now, which is amazing. I've all been doing this for, what, 3-4 weeks. I'm obviously loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying giving you guys the daily market outlooks, the videos that I'm doing. And obviously connecting with you guys as well on social media. And I'm going to say to anyone watching, if you ever want to connect, if you ever want to ask any questions, feel free to obviously drop me a message on my Instagram or drop me a message on the comment section below. But yeah, I'm excited for the rest of January. I'm excited to go into February. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you obviously like the video and all that other crazy stuff in between. And also make sure you have your notifications turned on. That is the most important. So other than that, have an amazing weekend. Take care, guys, and God bless.